since season one, also so much of Sushmita has been put into Arya. But in season two, I was just mentioning this today on Instagram. I was driving back from the airport and I saw this huge poster of the red-faced Arya.
Hello and welcome to India.com and Bollywood Live. I am Chirag Sehgal and our guest today is somebody whose deadlier than ever entry as Arya last year won everybody's hearts. Please welcome most beautiful, most talented और हम सबकी favorite Sushmita Sen. Hi Sushmita, thank you so much for joining us.
What a lovely introduction, Janmeri. Thank you so much. And you just pronounced my name perfectly, Chirag. Pass ho gaya.
But how does it feel to be a part of the show, which is the most anticipated show probably of the decade?
If I wasn't dressed so elegantly, I would show it to you dancing on top of this couch. That's how I feel about it. Like it's, to come back, 10 साल के बाद आप वापस आते हो, not to just an art form and to a different platform and just something that you love doing, but to come back to people who, जैसे हम कहते हैं ना कि आपकी एक स्क्रीन एज होती है, आप 90s से फिल्मों में काम कर रहे हैं, people kind of go like, बहुत देख लिया इसको, we've seen a lot of her. I've been so blessed to have an audience who said, come back. We want to watch more of you. Come back. And I think they're the single most important reason for me to say, I can do this. I can do this again. I can come back and be a student of cinema, learn a whole new different method, and come and do Arya.
But that's what I wanted to ask. You made a comeback with Arya. So while you were shooting for Arya season 1, did you expect this much of success?
Success is a dangerous thing in this business. You could be doing the biggest banner film with the biggest co-stars, a huge budget, all of it, but you can't guarantee a success, So no, what I was sure of was all my boxes were ticked. It was an author-back, fantastic role.
Yeah.
The adaptation of a show like Pinoza. So you kind of knew you were working with a screenplay which is very, very successful globally. You were working with one of the best teams that you can hope for. Mr. Ram Madhwani, RMF Films, Amita Madhwani as the producer. Aankh band karke, you could trust their instincts. And of course, they had a script like Arya, which was set with some incredible characters and a 360-degree approach of shooting it. जहाँ पे कोई कट नहीं है, कोई जिमी जेब, क्लोज अप, ओवर शोल्डर, कुछ भी नहीं है. यहाँ तक कि अगर आपको रोना है सीन में तो ग्लिसरीन भी नहीं है. तो you have to be in the moment and live it. So it was a whole different school. एक take 25 मिनट का, आधे घंटे का था, which we were not used to. So it brought me not just back to cinema and storytelling, it brought me back to being a student of cinema. And I'm very, very grateful that happened.
Arya is not a villain, but a hero, despite being associated with the world of crime, with the world of drugs. What do you think is the reason that makes Arya a hero?
बहुत सोच समझ के लिखा गया है सवाल. चिराग, I think what it is ये ड्रग्स की जगह कोई और प्रॉब्लम हो सकती थी. बंदूकों की जगह तलवार हो सकते थे. और कुछ नहीं तो किसी के कड़वे शब्द हो सकते थे. Life puts us symbolically in difficult situations all the time. Why we root for Arya is because Arya को सही और गलत में हमेशा सही रास्ते पे चलना पसंद. लेकिन जब जिंदगी आपको कहती है कि या तो आप शेर की सवारी कर लो या शेर खा जाएगा आपको. When you have a choice like that, then you say, कर ले आर्या शेर की सवारी, because otherwise the sher will eat you up. And then you start rooting for that character.
And this reminds me, one of your iconic dialogues from season 1, कई बार बात गलत और सही की नहीं, कम गलत और गलत की होती है. Do you think when you put such strong dialogues on screen, there also comes a lot of responsibility because you don't know how somebody might end up interpreting it and using it for their benefit.
True that. But like I also know that you could say something very sublimely innocent,
Yeah.
which this dialogue is not. Okay. But you can say something very innocently and you can still take the wrong meaning of it, which has happened so many times that you can't really take on the onus or the responsibility of other people's conscious or unconscious behavior. What you can do is be responsible with your own. And I think that's where the buck stops, is when you come to see a movie. Every movie or every storytelling isn't about social messaging. It's fictional or it's real or whatever it is, it's life, right? It's imitating life or it is depicting life.
Yeah.
Both cases, we are not kindergarten kids that हमने ये dialogue सुना तो हमने कहा अब तो ये करना बनता है. So I think people, when they want to use it as an excuse, they do. But no, we're not that powerful.
Are there any similarities between Sushmita and Arya? And what did you learn from Arya?
There are lots of similarities between us. In fact, my director, Mr. Ram Madhwani, has, since season 1, also so much of Sushmita has been put into Arya. But in season 2, I was just mentioning this today on Instagram. I was driving back from the airport and I saw this huge poster of the red-faced Arya.
Yeah.
And for the first time I said, that's not me, that's Arya. You know, she's now starting to have her own presence and her own personality and she's got her own life. Ye season 1 mein nahi tha itna. Season 2 mein bahut hai. What I've learned from Arya is you don't quit. You know, it's one thing to believe that, but there is an innate strength which does not scream and yell and shout and get violent. There is a strength in being silent and doing what needs to be done. Arya has that strength, which does not allow her to quit. There are times in the scene where I'm just looking at my director and saying, my God, I think if I were in this situation, I don't know what I would have done. And yet Arya is calm, collected, dying inside, but doing
the strongest ever.
Yeah, but her strongest ever.
In an industry where most of the heroic characters are dominated by men, how do you think it is a big step making Arya a female, a Sherni?
I think it's huge, Chirag. Very beautiful question, because you have to understand that I'm coming from 90s cinema, where half the times we weren't even a part of the hoarding, let alone, you know, be an author-backed role. Or it would be huge news if there was a woman-centric script and then they say the heroine is carrying the film on her shoulders, you know, things like that. And it would probably not do well also, because it would just be one of those things where you have limited budget, limited marketing, no one watched it. I know I've done films like that. So now to see a hoarding and see hoardings all over Bombay with Arya, the protagonist, being center stage, it's an evolution, if you ask me. I think it's a huge journey of progression. And I love Disney Plus Hotstar for doing that. I love Ram Madhwani and RMF Films for doing that, for breaking that barrier and to say, well, this is the story of Arya. Arya happens to be a woman. So we're not trying to be woman-centric. We're going with the storytelling, and the audiences today have accepted it with both hands and embraced the idea. So I think these are great times. This is a great time to be a storyteller, great time to be an actor in the industry.
Thank you so much, Sushmita, for joining us. It was wonderful talking to you. I'm sure Arya season 2 is going to be a big hit again, and everyone's waiting for it.
Fingers crossed, Chirag. All the best. Please let me know how you liked it, okay?
Yeah, surely. Thank you so much.